This is Ramblin' Rusty, and today I'd like to take you to Tennessee, near Nashville. When I was a boys' dean from 1968 to 72, I went to Jefferson Academy, and one of the fellows I had in my dorm was Ben Kohler. And he and his brother came there. They were from the Madison, Tennessee area. Anyway, I didn't know too much about his background before, but getting to know him later. He married, you see his wife right here. They did not date while at Jefferson. Both of them were there at the same time. They got married later on. But anyway, Ben went to Tennessee. He built a little log cabin. Here you see a picture of it on top of a foundation with a full basement underneath. He had kicked around many different things. He had gone to the bank and got a loan for $30,000 to build this cabin and everything. And so he did it all. And then he was a very thing. He bought a sawmill later on. He got money from his house and bought a sawmill, and he was selling lumber. And then he really got to thinking. He says, well, why don't I go out and cut down the trees myself? So he is considered a tree surgeon now, I guess you would say. And he cuts down his lumber and takes us to his sawmill, and he's on his third sawmill right now. I think he uses the wood miser. But toward the end of this blog, you'll see some of his lumber that he has. He also has a kiln there. Then he bought a machine that he can do all type of molding with his lumber. So he did that. And so here you see a picture of the small bedroom in his cabin that he built. But his wife says, I need something bigger. So he built an extension onto his cabin, which had a nice big dining room in it, big to them right then. And then his wife says, well, she wanted her own bedroom. So he started building onto this. And he learned how to put the logs together with oak pegs to put them together like a erector set. And so he got into doing that. And so as you go through this, I do not know exactly each one, but I spent an afternoon at their house. They had me over for supper. That's the first picture you saw. I says, we got to do a selfie. So we did a selfie. So going through there, so he started learning how to do this. So here's a picture of their bedroom. And their bedroom is gigantic, and you can see the beams. Here's going into the bathroom right there. And he really took time to do this, and he learned a lot. And so he'll go to different people and say, hey, I need a tree cut down. So he cuts it down and says, I need to haul off. So he'll haul them off. He'll take them to his sawmill and saw them up into logs and deal with that. And it's working real well. And so the cabin originally was 30 feet by 40 feet with a full basement underneath. And so he had dug the footings with a rototiller, dug them down and put it in and did rock work. So he got into it. He has I don't know if you, I call it a cherry picker that he can get up high to limb the things, but it's mainly him that's doing it. And so his wife wanted a bedroom, so he built a bedroom on there, and comes on there. Later on you'll see the bathroom. And so he's a very interesting person. And the reason he went to Jefferson was that he had gotten in trouble at Madison, 2 years there at Madison. Then he went down to Fletcher, and he wasn't having a happy time. And somebody says, go to Jefferson Academy. So he and his brother went there. His brother played guitars and ukulele. And he decided, I'm going to change things. I'm going to sort of not do what I'd done before. I never got into what he had done before. And so going there, he joined the choir and the chorus and the gymnastics team. And he says, I'm going to do this. And at that time, Stuart Crook was the principal, and so Stuart had a great music program for the thing there. Now, his wife also wanted a place to set up her telescope, a little porch. So instead of doing a porch, here's the room that he built right there. You can see the telescope in the background. And I think that floor has cherry wood on the floor that he learned how to do. As you see all the beams that are there, different views of those antlers had gotten from her dad. Now here's a picture of the dining room, different views, and so it's beautiful. And so right now the total house has probably 6,000. And here's a look into their cabin that they had built, and he raised a roof in there and just finishing that up right now. Next are some views of the outside. Here you can see the old log cabin. You can see the older logs there. and then the porch systems and a lot of different views. And so he has learned a lot, and his wife wanted a rock wall, so he got rocks and built it. Here you see some of the structures of the logs that he learned how to cut them so that it goes. And now in the basement, it's not unfinished. It's going to be quite a while. Here's some different views of it downstairs. You see the big beams on the ceiling, great big fireplace down below. But all the wood that he has there was timber that he had picked up from somewhere else. He did not have to pay for it all just that way. And so he sells some of the lumber and things. Here you see underneath of a porch, those used to be old telephone poles. He squared them off and put them up there. Then you see pictures of some of the lumber that he has stored. And then next you see a machine that will make all the molding that's needed. And then the last picture you'll see is his kiln. Ben and Denise are doing very well. Thank you for inviting me over. Here we went out to a Mexican restaurant. Ramblin' Rusty signing off for now.